Three security guards close in as the billionaire CEO points. She orders them to drag a trespasser out of the lobby. His jaw tightens, but her disgust hits harder than any shove. Near the marble pillars, the black maid's teenage daughter freezes mid-step. She's invisible to everyone, yet rage rises sharp behind her eyes. For the first time, she wants someone powerful scared. Morning light spills across the Four Seasons lobby, turning the marble floor into a bright, polished stage. The air carries a cold hotel scent, flowers mixed with furniture polish. Guests move like they're floating. Conversations drift. Laughter hums in the distance. Then the mood shifts the moment the billionaire CEO raises her voice. Her cream suit catches the light. Her posture stiffens. Everything about her radiates ownership. She stands with two foreign investors, smiling like the room belongs to her alone. Near the edge of the lobby, the maid's daughter steps in quietly. She's 17, maybe 18. A black girl in a simple uniform holding a basket of supplies. Her shoes squeak softly against the marble. No one looks at her. No one ever does. She stays close to the wall, head down, breath steady. She's only here to help her mother finish a shift. That's all she wants. A simple morning, no trouble. But trouble doesn't ask permission when power is nearby. The CEO keeps laughing until she notices a man approaching. He's dressed casually, not rich enough for this place in her eyes. She stares at his outstretched hand like it's something dirty. The investors pause. The room pauses. The maid's daughter does too. A hard silence spreads like a ripple. The CEO steps back, chin lifting, voice sharp. "Excuse me, who let you in?" The words slice through the polished air. The man tries to speak, calm and steady. He offers details, names, reasons. But she doesn't hear any of it. She sees clothes. She sees skin. She sees what she wants to see. The maid's daughter grips the handle of her basket tighter. Her heartbeat thuds in her ears. The man lowers his hand slowly, still polite, still controlled. The CEO's disgust deepens. "Security," she says, waving him away like he's nothing. Two guards appear instantly. One looks ashamed. The other stands ready. Phones lift from nearby tables. A woman starts recording. People whisper. Power gathers around the CEO like armor. The man tries again. Just a sentence. A chance to explain. She cuts him off with a laugh. It's brittle, loud, cruel. "Someone like you doesn't belong here." Those words hit harder than anything else. The maid's daughter feels them in her chest, feels the sting, the echo. She's heard them before in different forms, different rooms, different mouths. Her breath shakes, but she keeps her face still, keeps her eyes steady. The guards step in. The man nods once, dignified, hurt, but holding himself together. He walks toward the exit without raising his voice, without dropping his head. Guests stare openly now. The CEO lifts her chin, brushing imaginary dust from her sleeve. The investors exchange unsettled glances. She pretends not to notice. The maid's daughter watches it all, every second. Her stomach twists. Something burns behind her ribs. Not fear, not sadness. Something harder, sharper. She stands straighter than before. The CEO doesn't look at her. She never does. But for the first time, the girl feels a pull in her chest. A tug toward the center of the room. Toward the truth she just witnessed. She doesn't speak. Not yet. But inside, something shifts. Something refuses to stay small. The lobby doesn't settle after the man leaves. If anything, the tension thickens. Conversations drop to whispers. Eyes linger on the CEO with a mix of confusion and unease. The investors shift their briefcases, clearly reconsidering everything. The maid's daughter stays near the wall, clutching her basket. Her pulse won't slow. The moment replays in her mind. The raised voice, the curl of disgust, the order to remove him like trash. Each detail hits harder than the last. The CEO exhales sharply as if clearing the air of an inconvenience. She turns back to the investors with a smile that doesn't reach her eyes. You wouldn't believe how many scammers try to sneak into meetings. Her voice rings too loud in the fragile silence. One investor offers a weak nod. The other checks his watch again. Their posture has changed. Their distance has grown. But the CEO pretends not to notice. The maid's daughter watches every shift in their expressions. She sees doubt forming. She sees cracks in the CEO's polished image. She isn't supposed to look this closely, but she can't look away. The humiliation she just witnessed pulses through her like it happened to someone she loves, someone she needs to protect. She swallows hard. Her throat feels tight. A concierge steps closer to the CEO, ready to speak. She waves him off without looking. The gesture is small but sharp enough to cut. The maid's daughter flinches. She recognizes that kind of dismissal. She's lived under it for years. She presses her lips together, grounding herself with a slow breath. Across the room, the guards return to their post. The older one gives the girl a soft nod, almost apologetic. The younger guard looks away, unsettled. The investors exchange one last glance. Then they straighten their jackets and step back from the CEO. "We have a flight," one says quietly. She tries to reel them back with charming words, but their decision is already made. Their goodbye is formal, distant. They leave without shaking her hand. The CEO's smile fades the second they turn away. Her posture stiffens again, but this time it's brittle. She pulls out her phone, tapping fast. Her jaw tightens. She mutters something under her breath. The maid's daughter can't hear the words, but she knows frustration when she sees it. And fear. Just a flicker, but real. A staff manager enters the lobby, eyes scanning for the maid's daughter. "You," he says softly. "We need the windows polished before the next group arrives." She nods quickly, moving toward the tall glass panes. She lifts her cloth with steady hands. Outwardly calm. Inside, still burning. As she wipes the glass, she sees the CEO's reflection walking toward the elevators. Chin high, shoulders tense. But the girl notices something the others missed. Her hands shake. Only slightly, but enough to show the lie beneath her confidence. The maid's daughter's breath steadies. She doesn't know the man who was thrown out. She doesn't know his story. But she knows he deserved better. And she knows the CEO's power isn't as solid as it looks. That realization settles deep inside her. Heavy, certain. The story isn't finished. Not even close. The service hallway muffles the luxury of the lobby. The air is warm, heavy with steam from the laundry room. Pipes tick overhead. Cleaning carts line the walls like shadows. The maid's daughter steps inside quietly, her hands still shaking from what she saw. She sets her supply basket down and leans against the wall. Her breath trembles. Her chest feels tight. The humiliation she witnessed clings to her skin like heat. Her mother appears at the end of the hallway. She's older, tired, still wearing the same faded uniform she's worn for years. She wipes her hands on a towel and studies her daughter's face. "You look shaken," she murmurs. "Come, break room." The girl nods. Her throat aches. Words feel trapped behind her ribs. The break room is dim. A single fluorescent light flickers. A vending machine hums in the corner. The girl sinks into a plastic chair. Her mother places a bottle of water in front of her. "Drink," she says gently. The girl takes a sip. The cold steadies her, but the memory doesn't fade. The CEO's voice, the disgust, the man's lowered hand, it loops in her mind without stopping. Her mother sits across from her. "Tell me," she says softly. The girl swallows. "She threw him out," she whispers. "No reason, no respect, just power." Her mother's jaw tightens. "This place has people like that," she replies. "They forget who keeps these floors shining, who changes their sheets, who makes their world run." The girl listens, heart twisting. Her mother has carried wounds she rarely names. The door opens. Rosa, another housekeeper, steps inside with a stack of towels. She notices the girl's expression instantly. "You saw it, didn't you?" she asks. "Everyone is talking." She lowers her voice. The way she looked at him, the way she spoke, shameful. The girl's fingers curl around her water bottle. Her pulse rises again. Rosa continues. "People like her always show themselves when they think no one important is watching." The words hit deep. A soft knock follows. Jeremiah, an older maintenance worker, steps into the room. His presence is calm, steady. "I recognized him," he says quietly. The girl looks up. Jeremiah nods. "The man she humiliated. He's powerful, very powerful, dresses simple on purpose, wants to see who judges without knowing." The break room stills. Rosa inhales sharply. The girl's mother frowns. Jeremiah adds, "She'll learn who she pushed today." The knowledge shifts something inside the girl. Not excitement, not revenge. Something firmer, something moral. She thinks of his calm voice, his dignity, the cruelty he received. It burns through her like a quiet flame. Her mother touches her shoulder gently. "Breathe," she says. "The world breaks people like us if we're not careful." The girl nods, but something steady anchors inside her. She stands. The hallway feels colder now. The world upstairs feels sharper. She doesn't know where this story is heading, but she knows one truth with absolute clarity. She won't stay silent when the next moment comes. Night settles over the small apartment the maid's daughter calls home. The walls are thin, painted long ago, now chipped from years of humid summers. A single ceiling bulb flickers softly, casting uneven light across the cramped living room. The air smells of rice cooling on the stove and detergent from freshly washed uniforms. Outside, traffic murmurs like a restless tide. Inside, everything feels too quiet. She steps through the door, shoulders tense from the day. Her mother looks up immediately from the kitchen table, where she sits sorting bills into uneven stacks. Her tired eyes warm for a moment. "Long day?" she asks. The girl nods, slipping out of her shoes. Her mother gestures to the chair across from her. "Come sit. Tell me what's weighing on you." The girl hesitates, then joins her. The chair wobbles under her weight. She keeps her gaze lowered. Her mother studies her face the way only mothers can, seeing past the silence, past the steady breath, straight into the storm underneath. "Someone said something," she guesses softly. "Or did something." The girl's throat tightens. She doesn't want to add more burden to the woman who already carries too much, but the memory of the morning lingers like a bruise. "I saw someone get humiliated," she whispers. "For nothing." Her mother's hand covers hers gently. People in power forget humanity when they believe they'll never fall. A bedroom door swings open. Her younger brother runs out, backpack still on, hair sticking up in uneven tufts. "You're home!" he shouts, throwing his arms around her waist. His innocence is a balm she didn't know she needed. She hugs him back, holding him longer than usual. He digs into his backpack and pulls out a folded paper. "Look, I drew something." She unfolds it carefully. It's their family. Her, their mother, her brother, standing under a crude sun, smiling. But behind them is a tall, sharp building, shaded in dark pencil strokes. "That's where Mom works," he says proudly. "One day, I'll help her so she can rest." Her chest tightens again, this time with something softer, heavier, responsibility, hope, love. Her mother begins preparing dinner, moving slowly, rubbing her wrists between tasks. The girl notices the swelling. The long shifts are getting harder. She stands and joins her at the counter. "Let me cut the vegetables," she says. Her mother shakes her head. "You worked too. Sit." But the girl takes the knife anyway. Her mother watches, pride flickering through her exhaustion. Later, as they eat together at the small table, her mother finally asks, "What are you really afraid of?" The girl thinks of the CEO's voice, sharp and entitled. She thinks of the man's calm dignity. She thinks of the way everyone looked away. "I'm afraid that people like us will always be stepped on," she answers quietly, "and no one will care." Her mother reaches out, brushing a stray curl from her forehead. "Then you learn to stand, even when others don't." The girl absorbs the words. Solid. Grounding. When she lies in bed that night, ceiling shadows shifting above her, she realizes something. The world outside may be cruel, but something inside her refuses to bend anymore. Something is waking up. 6 months later, the world feels wider than anything the maid's daughter imagined. The hotel shifts her to part-time hours so she can attend classes in the mornings, a change her mother still calls a miracle. Every day begins on the city bus, notebook in her lap, pen tapping lightly as she studies business math and entry-level finance. Her mind absorbs everything. Numbers, patterns, systems. She wants to understand the world that crushed that man in the lobby, and the one that lifted him back up. Her mother waits for her each afternoon, tired but proud. "You're building something," she says often. "Don't let anything stop you." The girl holds those words close, carrying them through long shifts and long nights. The city outside moves fast. People rush, chase, climb. She stays focused, anchored by purpose she didn't have before. Something about that morning, something about the CEO's cruelty, still burns behind her ribs, but now it guides her instead of wounding her. At the hotel, conversations ripple about corporate changes sweeping through wealthy companies. New training programs, leadership overhauls, a famous tech investor demanding accountability wherever he goes. Sometimes staff whisper his name with awe, sometimes with disbelief. She listens quietly but never speaks. She still remembers the look in his eyes as security walked him out. Calm, hurt, dignified. A man who never raised his voice yet carried a power larger than the room. One afternoon during her break, Jeremiah hands her a printed flyer. "Saw this and thought of you," he says. It's for a scholarship program funded by the same or investor, a program designed for students from working families, especially those ignored by traditional systems. Her heart jumps. The flyer feels almost unreal in her hands. "You should apply," Jeremiah adds gently. "You have the fire for this." She wants to protest. She wants to say she's not ready. But something inside her says she can be. Something that began the day she watched injustice unfold in a polished lobby. That evening, she sits at the kitchen table with her mother. They read the scholarship details together. Her mother's hand trembles slightly as she smooths the page. This could change everything," she whispers. The girl nods, breath shaking. Then steadies. "I'm going to try." Her mother places both hands around hers. "Trying is enough, and you're stronger than you think." The next week becomes a blur of applications, essays, and late-night writing sessions. She writes about growing up unseen, about watching people dismiss her mother's kindness, about learning that dignity doesn't depend on money. Most of all, she writes about the morning in the lobby, leaving out names, but not truth. The lesson carved itself into her bones. Power shows itself in how someone treats those they think they don't need. When she submits the application, her hands shake so hard she almost drops her phone. A strange mix of fear and hope swells in her chest. Hope feels dangerous, but she lets herself feel it anyway. Weeks pass. Then, one afternoon, the hotel manager finds her during her shift. His expression unreadable. "You need to step into the office," he says. Her stomach flips, her palms dampen. Inside the office, a sealed envelope waits on the desk. Her name printed in clean, bold letters. The envelope feels heavier than paper should. Her fingers tremble as she slides her thumb under the seal, breath caught between hope and fear. Her mother stands beside her, hands pressed together, whispering prayers too soft to hear. When the flap opens, a crisp letter unfolds in her hands. Words blur at first, then sharpen into meaning. Congratulations! You have been selected as a recipient of the Cole Scholars Award. Her breath breaks. A sound escapes her, half laugh, half gasp. Her mother covers her mouth, tears spilling instantly. The girl reads the lines again, slower this time, grounding herself in every syllable. Full tuition, mentorship, paid internship. A bridge into a world she never imagined entering. The world that once shut her out now offers a seat at the table. Her mother pulls her into a tight embrace. You did this, she whispers. You, my daughter. The girl clings back, heart pounding so hard it feels like it might burst through her ribs. For a moment, everything else disappears. The long shifts, the polished floors, the sting of being unseen. All that remains is possibility. 2 weeks later, she steps into a sleek event hall for the official announcement ceremony. The room glows, with warm lights reflecting off glass walls. Rows of chairs face a low stage where a simple banner hangs. Cole Scholars, building tomorrow's leaders. She walks carefully, her modest dress new but simple, her palms damp with nerves she can't calm. Jeremiah and Rosa sit in the back, beaming. Her mother sits near the front, posture proud, eyes shining. The girl takes her place beside other recipients, students from all walks of life, each carrying stories of struggle, grit, and hope. The lights dim. A soft hush falls. Then he enters. Darian walks onto the stage with the same quiet confidence she saw that terrible morning, the morning that changed everything. He doesn't wear a suit. He never does. Just a charcoal polo and pressed khakis. But the room shifts around him, the way rooms shift around people who have earned their gravity. He speaks of opportunity, fairness, and the power of seeing potential where others overlook it. His voice is steady, unforced. We rise, he says, when those with closed doors finally choose to open them, and we rise even higher when those once left outside walk through with their heads high. His gaze moves across the crowd, and for a heartbeat, it lands on her, not as a stranger in a uniform, not as someone invisible, as someone who fought to be here. She feels the acknowledgement like warmth under her skin. Then Victoria steps forward, changed, humbled, quieter than before. She offers brief remarks about rebuilding, about accountability, about learning to lead with eyes open instead of closed. She doesn't center herself. She doesn't soften the past. And the audience responds with respectful silence. Finally, the moment arrives. Darian calls her name. Her legs tremble as she rises, but her steps are sure. The room blurs into soft shapes as she walks toward the stage. When she reaches him, he extends his hand. She takes it, firm and steady. "Congratulations," he says softly. "Thank you," she replies. Her voice doesn't shake. A camera flashes. Applause rises like a wave. But more than the applause, she feels something deeper. A settling, a grounding, a truth clicking into place. The girl who once stood unnoticed in a gilded lobby now stands at the center of a room built for possibility. Her mother watches with unfiltered pride. Her colleagues cheer. Darian nods with quiet approval. She isn't just being seen, she's being believed in, and that changes everything. As she steps back toward her seat, scholarship certificate in hand, the future no longer feels like a distant dream. It feels reachable, real. A beginning shaped not by wealth or status, but by courage, and the certainty that even the smallest voice, when finally heard, can shift the world.